firstly, congratulations to everyone on reaching this pitch stage in your program. And I'm really delighted to be here to just kick off some thinking and the day. I wish all of you the best of luck on your pitches today. And I want to thank you for inviting me to share the story of my company, Interface. I think Interface is an example of the power of one idea, of one shift in mindset that can lead to broader change, not just within a company, but within a whole industry and beyond. So the change for us started within a small group of leaders in the company, and then it went on to influence our employees and change their mindsets. Then we started to change how our customers think about things, and we've shaped their behavior towards sustainability. We've gone on to influence other businesses, and we've become a model for the rest of the business world about what it can actually mean to put sustainability at the core of your business. Next slide, please. 25 years ago, our company was transformed by a change in mindset by one person, our founder, Ray Anderson. And Ray's pictured here. He became convinced that the way that we were running Interface was in conflict with the health of the planet. And he decided to change and gave Interface a new focus to become a $1 billion flooring manufacturer with zero environmental impact. And he called that Mission Zero. We started our programs in 1994. And last year, we celebrated our 25th anniversary on Mission Zero. Next slide, please. And here's a sense of sort of how far we've gotten in those 2.5 decades. We've decarbonized our business 96% through things like factory efficiency programs, renewable energy, just being smarter and more innovative about how we make products. But we've also increased the sustainability of those products, shifting to recycled and biomaterials, reducing the carbon footprints. And we knew that in order to do all of this, the basis for all of this progress and the sort of driver to help transform our company, was really based on everyone in the business. We knew we would need to inspire and empower all of our employees to help make these fundamental changes. And we knew we'd need new ideas, and we'd need to create an environment where these ideas could emerge and be heard, where everyone had permission to sort of take these new ideas and try them and fail. And so the story of Interface and all the progress we've made and all of the successful innovations and how those have helped grow the company and really build it into this amazing model are really founded on creating a space where people can bring ideas and where we can work together to make those sometimes crazy ideas a reality. And so we knew that our best ideas would come from inside the company, from people with the traditional knowledge of our business and our process who were not sustainability experts. So we understood that when we could harness the minds and voices of our factory employees and add this new lens of sustainability, that we'd be able to make real change. So we knew that the local institutional knowledge in those factories combined with new frameworks was sort of the winning formula for the best ideas. So most of our employees work in factory environments. So one of the first things we did was create a program called Quest. And this was building cross-functional leaders from factory departments that would work together to identify new ideas to address waste. Next slide, please. So lots of ideas emerged from the Quest teams in different factory locations that have transformed our business. And they've contributed to some of the numbers that I just showed you, the fact that we've reduced waste to landfill in our business by 92% since we started. So here's a quick example. This is Billy Ingram, and this is what he invented. It's called a portable creel. So when you make carpet tiles and carpets, there's stationary equipment called beams that hold and feed the yarn into the tufting machines to create the beautiful fuzzy stuff that is the stuff that we walk on the top of carpets. And this is a century-old technique. And over time, the practice was to overload those beams with yarn so that you would never run out of yarn when you were in the middle of a production run. But that also meant a very wasteful process where lots of scrap yarn was left over when the production run was finished. And instead of taking the time to take the yarn off this equipment, it would get cut off, fall on the floor, and be swept away as waste. So in thinking about sustainability combined with the knowledge that he knew, Billy came up with this brilliant idea to make the beams that hold the yarn not fixed, but movable on wheels, so that after each production run, the leftover yarns could be moved to the next machine and the next production run, and then the next machine. And in this sort of new practice, we were able to save 54% reduced yarn waste. And it's a great example of how one idea from someone with local knowledge who became inspired by sustainability went on to sort of deeply change not just that factory location, but our business. We now have portable creels in every one of our 9 factory locations globally. And the next slide, this is a patent that we filed for the process with Billy as the lead inventor. And this employee-based program has not only had the cumulative impact of generating ideas like the portable creel that has halved our waste globally, it's paid huge financial dividends, saved hundreds of millions in dollars in waste costs around the world. So let's kind of connect this back to what we're doing today. So you've all been exploring and using the framework of drawdown to think about ideas. And we've actually been doing the same thing at Interface. Next slide, please. Inspired by the thinking of drawdown, in 2016, we actually set a new mission for our company, building on all of that success, and it's to reverse global warming. And we felt that there needed to be a company that was courageous enough to set a goal that was about something bigger than doing less harm or emitting less carbon. We wanted a company to come out publicly and say the goal has to be what the planet needs, which is to reverse global warming. And with this ambition, we're challenging our company, much like you've been challenging yourselves over the last 8 to 9 weeks, to find new ideas that remove carbon from the atmosphere, that go way beyond just thinking about emitting less carbon, but looking for ways that our company, our products, our factories could actually store carbon, could remove carbon from the atmosphere. Next slide, please. And this is sort of how we've mapped it out as a vision for our company, starting from where we were 25 years ago in a very wasteful model, moving to where the business is now in the yellow column, having reduced a lot of our impacts. And the third, column on the far right, the green side, is our vision for the future, how we imagine ourselves being able to deliver on this amazing ambition. Next slide, please. So I'll share just one project that we're looking at, because it's a project that I've been leading with an amazing group of collaborators at Biomimicry 3.8. And it's based on how we can look to nature as a mentor and an innovator and a model for what our factories should look like and how they should function. A few years ago, my team was tasked with coming up with the next sustainability vision for our factories and designing programs and goals to manifest what those would look like. And we needed a model and some metrics to set a new performance bar for the factories. So this project, next slide, please. This project involves identifying a high-performing local ecosystem nearby our factory location, measuring the services that it provides, and developing a set of metrics that provide a benchmark for how our factories should perform. Then applying practices and design interventions at our factory to impact those metrics. So effectively creating a performance standard for our factory that's set by nature. So here's how it would actually work in practice. Near our largest manufacturing plant in Georgia in the United States, we've identified and measured a longleaf pine ecosystem. We know that based on the forest function, that it can sequester from 889 to 1900 kilograms of CO2 per acre per year. Right now, our factory in that same ecosystem is emitting about 8,000 tons of CO2 a year, way down from where we were 20 years ago, but not sequestering, not doing what the local ecosystem does. So the goal of this project is to shift our factory campus towards sequestering the same amount of carbon as the longleaf pine ecosystem nearby. Next slide, please. And so through this process, we've identified a high-performing local ecosystem, measured what it does, looked at what our factory can currently do, and then have started to come up with a series of design recommendations, interventions, new technologies, and new practices that we can put in place at Interface that would effectively have our factory perform just like a local ecosystem. So when we talk about that goal of let's take just sequestering carbon, the idea is now for the company to look at a bunch of strategies, including eliminating fossil fuels, increasing landscape carbon sequestration, using organic material for fuel and soil building, redesigning campus landscaping, eliminating non-sequestering materials like parking lots, utilizing roof spaces for sequestration, and prioritizing bio-based materials, and many, many others to get us to the place where we could start to function with the same performance level as a local ecosystem. Next slide, please. So in closing, we're asking ourselves questions about how might we apply this thinking not just to factory locations, but to offices as well. And using the metrics and the performance criteria as a local ecosystem, we're learning that nature can provide an excellent model for our factory campuses, and that we'll be successful if we keep challenging ourselves to think beyond the status quo. So if we keep remembering that our best ideas come from within, that we need to keep the space for those to emerge, and I believe we'll always be open to this idea of new possibilities. So I want to thank you for allowing Interface to kick off this conversation with a little bit of a story about where we're going. And again, I wish you the best of luck on the rest of your day today. Thank you.